There was the slightest echo of clinking coins coming from the alley. As the two brothers shuffled through the pockets of the recently deceased, a sudden scream shattered the silence of the night as one of the brothers was skewered by a sword. The other brother turned in horror as he saw a beast tower over him. Piss yellow fur coated his body, a collection of ears hung from a necklace. His face resembled that of a bear, hungry for death. The brother struggled in vain as he was lifted off his feet and flung into a nearby pile of trash, void of motion. The other brother, in a desperate attempt for his life, drew his dagger and struck the gut of the beast. To the man's surprise, the dagger barely pierced the beast's skin. He fell to the ground in fear, and before he could beg for his life, a hand the size of his head wrapped around his neck. The beast raised the man above his head, and with a calm but intense voice, the beast said, "You impudent, insignificant fool. You believe your meager blade could slay a superior being as myself? I will give you a demonstration of true strength." The beast squeezed tightly on the man's neck. Within seconds, his head popped off like a cork, and wine flowed out of his body. Silence again returned to the streets. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host, Jay the Great, and today we're going to be doing something a bit different that you don't see in D&D too often. A rogue who uses strength. Our goals for today is to deal effective damage throughout all levels, use the Bugbear as our race, and our primary ability score will be strength. So, for a baseline of damage, we will be using the iconic Warlock, spamming Eldritch Blast, Hex, along with Agonizing Blast. We will also assume a 60% chance to hit. Now, as you can see, this is some pretty good damage. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your guide to Bob the Bugbear. So, for our race, we will obviously be picking Bugbear. This will give us a bonus to strength and dexterity, as well as proficiency in the stealth skill. We also get an extra 2d6 on a surprise attack, and lastly, our melee reach has been increased by 5 feet. For our ability scores, we'll be using point buy. We'll have a 14 in strength, which will be raised to 16, a 13 in dexterity, which will be raised to 14, a 14 in constitution, a 10 in intelligence because we don't make dumb characters, a 13 in wisdom, and an 8 in charisma. Now, the most important part of any character is their backstory. Now, as a disclaimer, this is the backstory for my Bob. Your Bob can have whatever backstory you want. Bob was raised by his other goblin kin, but always knew he was better than them. He taught himself how to read and write, and began to envy the luxuries of civilized nations. When raiding caravans, Bob would take mundane objects like books and silk, and would spend most of his time playing human, as the other goblins would say. Despite playing human, Bob was one of the strongest and quietest goblins in the clan. During a raid on a group of adventurers, Bob decided that it was time for a change. He turned on the very goblins that raised him and decided to travel with the adventurers. The rest of the story is yours. For our background, we will go with Outlander because Bugbear. At level 1, as all rogue builds go, we will be taking our first level in Barbarian. For skills, I chose Perception and Animal Handling. For equipment, take a short sword and a dagger, but you will want to get your hands on another short sword as soon as you can. We will be dueling for a better chance to hit with our sneak attack. Also, get yourself a chain shirt or a breastplate ASAP. By taking our first level into Barbarian, this gives us a good point of starting hit points and proficiency in medium armor, along with rage to help negate some damage. And for our average damage per round, assuming you have another short sword, is 8.4. Level 2, Danger Sense helps us with some of those dexterity saving throws, and Reckless Attack will give us advantage on all of our strength-based attacks, which becomes super useful. As for our average damage per round, it's 13.96. Huge. Now at level 3, we will be taking our first level into Rogue. This will give us an extra skill. I chose Acrobatics. We also gain Expertise in 2 skills. I picked Stealth and Athletics. We gain Thieves' Cant and finally Sneak Attack. By using Reckless Attack, we will always proc our Sneak Attack, allowing us to stay at range using our long reach with our Bugbear. Now for the math of getting Sneak Attack on the second hit, you simply times the chance that you'll miss by the Sneak Attack damage. And for average damage per round is 15.26. At level 4, we gain Cunning Action, which is a great tactical tool. And at this level, the baseline does take a +1 to their spellcasting modifier, making our chance to hit a 55%. We will be doing slightly less damage, but still great at 14.665. At level 5, our Sneak Attack goes up, and for our Rogue subclass, we will be choosing Assassin because Bugbear. We gain critical hits on a surprise attack and advantage on any enemy who hasn't gone yet. As for average damage per round, it is 18.16. At level 6, we will gain a +2 to our strength, dealing an average damage of 19.6. At level 7, we gain a bonus to our Sneak Attack and also Uncanny Dodge for some cool dodges. And our average damage is now 23.1. At level 8, we gain Expertise in 2 more skills. I chose Perception and Animal Handling. And also the baseline goes up again, lowering our chance to hit to 55%. So we now deal an average damage of 22.4625. At level 9, we gain a bonus to Sneak Attack, and also our Dexterity saves are even better. And our average damage per round increases to 25.9625. At level 10, we increase our strength by 2, making our average damage per round 28.04. At level 11, our Sneak Attack goes up, and also our Bugbear can now truly blend into the rest of society, and our average damage per round will increase to 30.94. At level 12, we will take the Medium Armor Master feat, and now you can go get yourself some half plate. At level 13, we gain an increase to our Sneak Attack, and we now also never fail our skill checks, and our average damage increases to 34.44. At level 14, we'll gain +2 to our Dexterity for some of that sweet, sweet AC. At level 15, our Sneak Attack goes up, and our Bugbear can now imitate other people, and our average damage per round increases to 37.31. At level 16, we can now see without eyes. At level 17, we gain a bonus to our Sneak Attack, and our brain becomes slippery, and our average damage per round increases to 41.44. We're now quite a high above the baseline. At level 18, we'll take +2 to our intelligence for some more smart boy powers. At level 19, we gain our final boost to Sneak Attack. We also gain Death Strike, which means if we ever surprise attack someone, they're dead, no arguments. And our average damage per round increases to 44.94. And if you were ever curious, our surprise attacks deal 26d6. At level 20, no attack roll can have an advantage on you. In conclusion, having a rogue use strength as its primary ability score can be really effective as long as you take that 2-level dip into Barbarian for reckless attack. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your host signing out.